Okay, the full screen is being recorded now. And we're going into a new PowerPoint. We're going to do it from scratch. We're going to be getting into the shapes. The shapes and the graphics, that's I'd say the main strength of PowerPoint. You can put text up there. You don't need PowerPoint to display text. I mean, I have a text editor right now that displays fine text. But the graphics and the effects to bring your audience in, to focus on your topic. In this class, I'm happy for you to learn all the things that distract your audience. If you do wild things, you can be distracting. It's fine in what we're doing in this class because I want you to know all the tools available. But out there, when you're doing something in PowerPoint, you'll want to maybe back off and not get too crazy with your graphics. But in this class, go crazy with your graphics. We're starting a new PowerPoint, and this time, we're not going to do a blank one this time. We're going to start with a template. Some help out there with the background, with the text style. So we're going to jump over to more themes instead of just jumping right on a blank presentation. So I'm going to go to more themes, and we can search for lots of themes. Just for fun here, is there any theme with the word Bible in it? Let's see. I would say no. Oh, I didn't. Wasn't surprised. But if we put the word tunnel into our search for a theme, I will get a funnel and a tunnel. So it looks like it does watch for possible typos close to what I'm having. With us is the one that we would like to use, the Business Digital Blue Tunnel. Click on that, and then I click Create. Now what it is doing, let's see, I think it gives us a clue. Yeah, it gives us a little peek into what the layouts are available in that theme. Just in case I want to be sure, is that the one I want? So it shows me the layouts for slides in that theme. I'm going to go click Create. And remember, you have a little experience with this now. The master slide is what is in control of what is available with that theme. So let's just for fun, now that we know we've seen master slides before, let's go to View, Slide Master, just to see what came with that theme. View Slide Master. And I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different layouts available in that theme, all because of the slide masters. We're not going to be using all of them, but just to know they're available to us. Another way to know they're available is if I ever go a new slide, I see all the layouts available in my theme. We realized at the very start that we're not going to be using most of those layouts. We just like the cool graphics behind there. So we're not going to have a chart, so I can click on the chart, and we're not going to have a table, so I can shift click on that one because I want to select them both and delete those together. I could delete them one at a time, but that's an extra click, and I don't want to get that carpal tunnel. So right click, delete slide. And really, I only want the first 3. So I can go down to slide 4 and scroll all the way to the bottom. Shift click on this one. Save me a lot of clicks by now. Right click, delete slide. And I'm left with just those 3. We can always, if I wanted one of those, I could always add a new slide and get one of those layouts back. But it may not contain the content, like the chart one isn't showing up here as a possible layout. So let's bring in our title. We'll be coming back later bringing in other cool graphics. And our title is given, well, let me show you what we're going to be producing here. I'm going to go to my textbook here. What we're going to be producing is more than a 4 slide. We're going to be doing our own graphics as well eventually. Let me show you what we're going to be producing. Our target goal here is a PowerPoint presentation that's going to look like this in the end. So you have this in your mind, some idea. Here's what we're going to be producing. A title, encouraging saving money with some graphics we're going to be inserting. A list of items using some cool graphics. Another list of items or things to do to save energy. And another smart art we're going to be customizing with some more cool graphics. And completely custom, all drawn by us, graphics that's going to look like this. So that's going to be our goal, is something like that. Lots of graphics. And we're going to be even adding an extra slide with, and we're going to start looking at animations, because they don't do enough with animations, and those are a great way, a great skill to know. So it had animations as well. So let's do the basic stuff, and then we'll add to this. Today we're going to get about halfway done, or actually maybe 3/4 of the way done, and then part 2 is going to be all the graphics and animations as much as possible. So let's get going. Get the basic stuff in here now. We've got the theme. The title is going to be Energy Saving at Home. And here we go. Sorry, conserve energy at home. Conserve energy at home. Now this does not have as nice a placeholder as I've been used to seeing in other templates. So I have to select this text and replace it. If I were doing this and selling this as a template, I would be putting placeholders in there, but I'm not making any money off that. But you can have placeholders in there. It's a little bit more advanced skills to know how to create placeholders, but it's not super hard. Now they don't hit in the book, they're not hitting a new line here, although the text will eventually wrap here, at home. And the subtitle is going to be Save Money and Increase Comfort. Nothing like, oh, and I have to do either a triple click or Control A and type in Save Money and Increase Comfort. All caps font, doesn't matter whether you type it all caps or not. Comfort. I would like this title to be a little bigger. I'm going to Control A or triple click and Control Shift greater than until it's wrapping the way I want it. So about 80-point font. And perhaps someone is thinking, you know, maybe if we right align this, it would look better. I don't think it looks a ton better, but let's make sure you know how to align your paragraphs. Suppose we want both of them right aligned. The easiest way on my slide is a Control A without having anything selected, and then right align. That right aligns everything on that slide. If there were other graphics and things that I didn't want right aligned, that's when I wouldn't want to do my Control A. There is also, have you noticed, there is a Control A over here, although it doesn't tell you it's a Control A, there's the Select All. Not sure why they didn't give you a hint that the Control A does that same thing. I've used the Control A forever. I've hardly ever used this little Select All over here. It's like way easier to just remember Control A. The next slide, we're going to be putting in some content here. And we've been given the text, first of all, in the title of that one, or the main heading, I'm going to triple click on that one, and I'm going to put in energy efficient products. Oh, there's a hyphen between them, efficient projects. Oh, little typo there. Got the red squiggly. Right click. Oh, it's not giving me a, let's try that again. Right click. It's not giving me a suggested spelling. I guess I have to spell it myself. Now we can replace these bullet points. Again, I have to select it to replace them. And now we can start putting in some text. All caps, Energy Star, certified. A sub-item of this, I'm going to use the tab to increase the list level. Use 75% less energy. Incandescent lighting. I want to decrease my indent level. Shift tab, or the little icon right up there will increase or decrease. Water sense, certified shower heads. I am ignoring the spelling correction suggested, the typo suggested, because I know that's a valid name. Tab in, because a little comment about that. A family can save 2,700 gallons of water yearly. When you start paying the utility bills, those gallons of water saving will become important to you. And don't be like me, forgetting one night in the middle of the summer. I think it actually happened twice. I was watering a tree and I forgot to turn it off. The next morning my wife says, you know, I've heard the water running all night. That was not a fun water bill. Shift tab to shift out one. And we also care about energy savings, hot water pipe insulation. Unfortunately, many houses you can't get at your pipes to know whether there's insulation there, and it is not pips, they're pipes. If you do have an open ceiling, before you put up the lovely ceiling, check that your hot water pipe is insulated. It's cheap to get, easily installed. Can raise temperature to 4 degrees. I think I would rather say you can save heat loss of 2 to 4 degrees in your pipes that are just being wasted by going into your ceiling or wherever your pipes are running. And I think that's it for this slide. We'll be then doing some graphics on the next slide. And if you need more time, I'll give you time to type in the rest of that. Oh, we're not going to go to the next slide yet because we want to properly reference trademark symbols or trademark names here in this slide using the trademark symbols, which needs to go after Energy Star. I'm going to do the insert symbol technique and then show you even a better way. So insert after the word star, insert symbol, and make sure your font selected here is symbol font. And then if you know the code for what you're looking for, such as 226, you can find right away the registered trademark symbol. And then click insert. And you have registered trademark right there after Energy Star. I also want that same symbol after water sense, and I could go back to the symbols and find it, or I could use common sense that, oh, I don't remember how to use a symbol, but I can copy and paste, Control C and Control V to paste the same symbol that I had over there, but not a space after the E. Now to show you another way. Easier to remember is just use the left parenthesis, the letter R, and right parenthesis. That will automatically become a registered symbol. It will be smaller though than the one that you can find in the symbol table. Same thing happens if I type left parenthesis, C, right parenthesis, it turns into the copyright symbol. Left parenthesis, T, M becomes the trademark symbol. Automatically corrected. And I can know it's automatically corrected. Maybe I can go to my autocorrect options and actually see my autocorrect dictionary with all the symbols that will be replaced. And if you look through that list, you'll see that lots of other things will get replaced if I put parentheses around them. And they're listed at the top of my autocorrect table, along with then the rest of the normal autocorrect. So remember, you can, if you have a particular one that you like, you can actually replace it with your own symbols if you're using it a lot. But it's best to know I can go to my symbols and have a huge selection of symbols available to me. Lots of cool symbols, the infinity symbol, Greek letters, all sorts of fun symbols. But remember, you could also change your font if you wanted Greek. So I'm going to delete the extra ones, and I only need the big registered trademark. So now you know how to bring in symbols from that wonderful symbol table. We've seen it already in Word, so a little bit of review of that. Made a copy of it. We would like this to be a hyperlink. Now the only reason in a presentation that you want to make something a hyperlink, well, I guess there could be two reasons. One, you're going to link to it during your presentation, or two, you're going to give people your presentation that they can use for a link. I don't see any other reason to actually put the link in your PowerPoint. But let's see how it would be done. I can go to, I don't have insert link here. I have that selected. I want to make that a link. So I go to Home tab, and is there a right click? There, I can do right click hyperlink to turn that into a hyperlink. I think shape format, will that turn into hyperlink? I don't see the hyperlink there. Yeah, so it looks like just the right click. I thought it was on the insert. There it is. Yeah, I can do it on the insert. I like the right click better. Right click hyperlink. It asks you to put in the address, which is energy.gov. Energy.gov. And I click OK, and let's see what happens. Let's try seeing if that's a valid link by Control, or if I hover over that or select it, I'll see that Control click to follow the link. If I click on that, uh-oh, it's not a valid link. What went wrong? Let's go back to the link, selecting the whole. I think I can edit that link, and let's try that again. Oh, wait a minute, it didn't have proper formatting in front of it. Let's add http:// in front of it and see if then that's a working hyperlink. Let's try that now by control clicking. Control click to follow link, and the link does work. It did take me to energy.gov. Now, why didn't it put that HTTP in front of it before? Let me show you something that if you put the, I'm gonna undo this second here. I'm gonna go back to where I turned it into a link and show you something. If I had typed, instead of energy.gov, if I had typed www.energy.gov, it puts the HTTP in there for you. Now that's kind of I think that's kind of silly, because if I'm making it a link, it's either going to have HTTP in front of it or HTTPS in front of it already. So I should have been able to just type energy.gov and it would have known to put HTTP without making me do it myself. But the www in front of it triggered the, oh, you must want to put that in there for you. So it's a little smarter, helping you when you start typing it correctly. I think future versions will realize if it's a hyperlink, throw in the HTTP. Don't worry about waiting for you to type something first. Now it's a link. Let me see how it will behave if I am actually doing the presentation. I'm going to click this little guy, slideshow. Remember, this guy starts the slideshow at the slide I'm at. So if I want to sample what this is going to look like to my audience, now, blah, 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 I'm talking away. Oh, let's take me to that site. Let's see what happens. Click on the link while I'm talking. It pops up the browser, and sadly it doesn't pop it up automatically on this screen. The browser is on my other screen, and it shows that website. So it's not quite as friendly as I think it should be. I think if you're presenting and you want to go to the link, it should pop it up right on this screen automatically, almost as though it were a slide. I'm hitting escape to come back to my slide. And then the only other reason I would put a link is I'm going to give away my PowerPoint for them to electronically open, because what good is a link on a hard copy printout of your slide? So now you know all about slides and presentations. Oh, and just while I'm thinking about it, you can actually make it a link to another slide. Did you notice something? When you went to hyperlink, you can actually make it a link to somewhere else in my document or to a file on your in your system. So it doesn't have to go to a website. You can actually open up another PowerPoint with that link. Now we want to create a SmartArt graphic. We want to use these words, but we want to turn these into a nice graphical display of these items. They look decent right now, but if I could graphically enhance them, my audience, especially those visual learners, might be more excited about what I'm presenting. For me, the information is all I need, but you know, the graphical part might help me remember these points. Here's how we do that. We want to turn this into a SmartArt graphic, and we have to select the text so SmartArt Conversion knows what I'm going to be turning into a graphic. If I want to bring in the SmartArt now, I can't go to Insert SmartArt because it's going to bring in a new SmartArt ignoring what I have selected. But on the Home tab, underneath Paragraph Convert to SmartArt, this knows to select what I have and turn it into SmartArt. Now, I have built-in suggestions, but none of them are good enough, or the graphics I'm thinking of. It gives me a preview as I hover over it. Let's go to some more SmartArt options, and let's choose from the list category. Even though the all shows me a huge number of SmartArts available, let's just shrink the selection down to the list category. All of these are the list category. If I hover over these, it doesn't select them or doesn't preview them, but the one I want is this one called the vertical box list. I click that, and then once I click OK, it gives me that bulleted list turned into SmartArt graphics. With the text already there, I don't have to go start typing the text. Now let me show you another cool thing about SmartArt, how smart they are. I can, anytime I want, change the graphic style of that same content. And I don't have to change my content. I can just say, oh, let me put it in that format. Now, some of the formats aren't terribly good, like that. I can't even read that text. But I can browse through and preview other versions of that list. So without doing anything but playing with the SmartArt, I can make it look like I've done a completely new presentation, fooled my boss. They think I've done a lot of work, and all I did was change the graphics. And they think I've done so much work. And of course I come back saying, oh yeah, I spent all afternoon working on that when it was just a few clicks. What you want to do is show your boss how they can do this. They'll love you even more because they can look even better. So there's my graphics. Now it's time to adjust an existing graphics on the next one. We're going to edit a SmartArt shape that's been provided for us with text contained in it already. Let's do it the obvious way first by changing the text here to appliances. They're not placeholders. They're filled in with some text implying what I should be putting there. And that is step, what is that? That's going to be Windows. And replace that with lighting. Oh, I don't know why I was doing light. Now, remember back in Word on the graphics, this tiny little arrow right here is a hint at something very handy. I can come in here. The handiest thing about this is I can be copying and pasting a bulleted list into here from my Word document that I want to provide a presentation with. Here I can replace this bulleted list one at a time. Since I already have bullets in there, the appliances, Windows, lighting, I'm just going to replace the items in each one with the text by editing it in outline view. So for appliances, I want to put in the text and replace that first set of bullets, or the indented set of bullets, with unplug when not in use. Hit enter to start a new bullet. Ask about rebates. And see how it's automatically filling in my shape associated with that main bullet point. Do the same thing on the windows. For the windows, we're going to add seal leaks and close your curtains at night. Seal leaks, close curtains at night. and jump down to my next set and fill in the text. Now, if you find one way more convenient, you can just as well come do the same exact editing over here without editing in outline view. Both will, either way will work. By LEDs, LED and then small s, and then use indoors and outdoors. Use indoors and outdoors. Now I'm curious now, if I make another sub bullet, but I wanted it to be a main item, let's see what a shift tab does. Look at that, it makes a new shape for me if I make another main level bullet. You don't have to do this, I just was curious to see what would happen. See, it automatically, how smart is that, huh? I delete a main level bullet, it deletes the shape that goes with it. If I'm done with that, I can close that, and now I have title with content all filled in for me. I had to type it in. I prefer converting or copy pasting bulleted items and then converting them to graphics. Now just imagine how many PowerPoints are out there that just the boring bullets on every slide. All you would have to do is go to the slide, select the bullet points, and turn it into a SmartArt, and you could make that much more visually exciting having the same content. And depending on your audience, that might really get them their attention. It'd be cool to do a study of, you know, which group remembered your topic the most, the one that had the graphics or the one that saw the text. And of course, your presentation style is even more important. Don't let PowerPoint be the presentation. You're the presenter. This is just assisting graphics. So many people, even professional world, they talk with horrible skills, speaking skills, and they just read their PowerPoints. If they're going to do that, just give me the PowerPoint and let the computer read the words to me, for goodness sake. Be the person with a passion. Look at the people in the eye. Get them the question and answer time. Don't make it so everyone feels guilty asking questions. Have an interaction with your audience. Those are the ones that will be the ones that remember your topic. You are the presentation. Now let's do a save before we do any more, because we haven't saved this yet. And I can hit Control S, and I want to make sure I save it in a place that I'm going to remember. I'm going to go to my Section 2 folder, and I'm going to put PP2 at the front of it. PPT2, and then put your last name. So I'll put Smart for my fictitious John Smart student. You could leave conserve energy at home in there. See how it picks the first title and assumes that might be part of your file name. Saves it with the suffix PPTX, and now I click Save. Now as I continue editing, I want to remember to do my Control S's. It won't ask me my file name anymore. In those text boxes, or in these shapes that are here, I would like everything in here to be bold and shadowed text. Now one way I could do it, select this one and Control B makes everything bold. I could select the text within it. That means I will only make certain text bold if I have the select text, that specific text. If I want everything on all of these shapes to be bold, I want to select the main object that they're all in by going to the border of it, and see how the outline is the only thing selected right now. Now when I hit Control B bold, it makes everything inside bold all at once. If you know you want to make everything inside a complex shape bold, just select the very outer bounding box. If I want to add shadow text, I can hit text shadow. There is no shortcut key for that. And now I have text shadow, a little bit enhancement of the font. If I decide a particular thing I don't want that font to be the same, that's when it's good to know I can select each item. And remember, whenever I'm inside an item, I Control A selects everything inside that particular item. But I think the best thing to remember is if I select the main thing, outer boundary, then anything I apply to that, such as font color or anything, applies to everything inside of there. A great time saver. I don't think I can do it to all slides. Let me see. Control B. No, it doesn't apply if I have slide selected. I have to be in the slide editor window. I think we're done with that slide. Let's just check. Oh, there's one more thing. Someone comes along and says, you know, that's wonderful SmartArt, but that's boring. Everybody's using this SmartArt. I want you to use something else. How could I change that? Well, select that SmartArt, and now I can come back to my SmartArt and change what type of SmartArt it is by going to the SmartArt design, and I can choose any other one, get a preview of it, or go to more layouts and change to list and choose that one. That's the, what is that? The target list. I don't get a preview when I'm here, but if I come up here, I think it will preview if it happens to be up here. I don't see that guy here, so I guess I don't get the preview, but if I go more layouts and then come to list, target list, I have to click OK to actually see what it's going to look like, and look how much better those graphics are. So anytime you have a SmartArt selected, you can change its style. You can even change its subtle properties if you want to make it a little fancier, like 3D effect to it. You could enhance it. I kind of like that one. That's pretty cool. So you can select any style, and notice the content is not changing. It does remember some of the settings. If you chose a variation on it, it looks like it remembers that 3D look that got applied when I chose a variation. So knowing how to do this, I'd say a lot of people don't know the SmartArt capabilities. But if you have a bulleted list, copy paste it into outline view, turn into graphics, and just a few clicks, you've got a really slick looking presentation. Now the rest of today we're going to be modifying the last slide. We're going to be putting some of our own shapes in there that then we're going to be arranging and animating in a super cool way. So first thing we're going to do is insert a blank slide. So Home tab, new slide. This time it's going to be a blank slide. If I want to have a duplicate of that blank slide, I can duplicate that. But let's go ahead and insert some shapes in here. We're going to insert a circle, 2 trapezoids, and a downward curving arrow. Now I can go to the Insert tab, or I can see that here there are shapes I can insert from here. And I'm going to come here and insert a oval from the recently used, or from the basic shapes if it's not showing up in your recently used. And remember your 2 keys that are very helpful when drawing shapes. If I start drawing, I can drag an oval of any shape. If I want to keep it a circle, I hit the Shift key and it forces the proportion to be a nice round circle. The Control key changes from drawing it from the upper left corner to centering where I started clicking. So Control and Shift, either combo. Here, if it's just Control, it keeps it centered, but I can choose any proportion. Control and Shift keeps it centered and circle. And Shift, it starts the circle upper left corner, and I'm going to center it about there. I can always adjust my shape by grabbing a sizing handle and holding the Shift key to keep it a circle. Let's see what the Shift key does if I'm on the edge of it. No, the Shift key, if I'm grabbing the edge, the Shift key doesn't have any. The Control key does have an effect, but the Shift key doesn't keep the proportion if I grab the edge. But the Control does keep it centered where it was. And I can Control Z that back to circle. I'm adjusting the size down a little bit, keeping my Shift key down. And I'm also going to bring in a trapezoid. Now that I'm on the Shape Format tab, there also is an Insert guy over here. I can grab a shape over here, and I can come to the trapezoid down in Basic Shapes, and let's draw a trapezoid. And it doesn't give me any hints. Let's see if I don't get any hints in snapping to that other shape. I let go, but I do have a little yellow dot on the edge of a trapezoid. Lets me adjust the actual shape, the narrow pointiness of that narrow top end of that trapezoid. Now if I grab it and move it left up and down, it does show me how it's aligning with that other shape. And I would like the top of it to align with that other shape. It does snap to the top of that circle. And I can place these anywhere and adjusting them as I go. Now I would like to, and if I want them all the same size, I could either select them all or manually give them the same size up here in the shape height control. But before doing that, let's make a duplicate of our trapezoid. I could do Control C, Control V, and then drag, or I could start dragging and then hit the Control key and it makes a duplicate of that shape. Start dragging, Control. Now these shapes, I can be somewhat off in how they're aligned and distributed. As I adjust them, I do see hints. It snaps to even separation. But suppose I kind of randomly put them there and say, they can look a little neater. Let's align them nicer. I'm going to do Control A to select all these shapes. And over here you have alignment. I can align the tops. And now I can distribute them horizontally. And now they're perfectly evenly shaped. And if I do know that I want them all the same height, I can come over here and give it the same height of, let's try 2 inches and see how that works. Now they all have the same height of 2 inches. I did lose my proportion of my circle, but they still are evenly distributed. And I can bring that down here. I don't know if there's a way. Let's see if I can adjust this to be a perfect circle again. Let's grab the corner. Oh, it's adjusting all three. Let's deselect and now just select the circle. If I grab the corner, I want to keep it centered where it is, so I hold the Control key. If I want to make it a circle again, let's try the Shift key. Oh, look at that. It keeps it at the proportion that it was. It doesn't turn it back into a perfect circle. If I want that circle to be an exact circle, I can come up here and change its height or its width to be 2 inches. Now it's back to a perfect circle, but I lost my centering. I can do Control A again and do a align and their shape format, align, distribute horizontally again. If I want them closer together, I can do a Control A, and underneath alignment on their shape format, there is a, where is it? There is a, oh, there used to be, where's that? I can reduce the separation. I guess if I'm going to reduce the separation, I can drag one over and then select them again. And now I think if distribute horizontally will keep the leftmost and rightmost where they are and adjust the ones in between. So lots of capabilities on drawing graphics, keeping them distributed evenly. That is key to making it looking nice for your audience. Your eyes like things distributed evenly. Yes?
Can you do that again with the shapes? Like how you put them closer together?
Yeah, suppose I want them closer together or farther apart. I can just grab one of them and say I want them to be out from there to there. Now if I select them all, and I can now adjust them, adjust them horizontally, it will then distribute them from the leftmost to the rightmost. It's handy when you're doing a lot of shapes and your own graphics. One more graphic here and then we'll be done for today. We want to also bring in a downward curving arrow. Here it is, the selection. I could go to insert, but that's an extra click. I could come here to downward curving arrow underneath the block arrow. It's that little guy right there. And this arrow I kind of want to be broad across everything, so I'm going to start here and drag all the way across, something like that. And I have here with arrows, I have the yellow handle, gives me the width of that ending arrowhead. This little yellow handle gives me the width of the ribbon itself. And this little arrow, this little adjustment handle gives me adjustment of the size of that arrowhead. Anytime you see little yellow dots, that means that particular shape has some custom adjustments you can do. Trapezoid has the one. Circle, there are no yellow dots. We'll be coming back later and adjusting the graphics and some animation. If you have any layering issues, like something's in front of the arrow, you can always bring things to the front or send things to the back. I want the arrow to be in front of everything. I'm just going to right click on him, bring to front. Save it there. We will be coming back, adding text and animation and lots of cool stuff on part 2. And you can head to chapel. Like I promised, get you out a little early today. Fun chapel today. A very famous musical group I hear is performing.